Greetings, greetings, greetings. Greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the vault and Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. The vault episode 340. Trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing. Once again, this is the vault episode 340. Trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing. Want to always give a big thanks for everybody tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening live from. Feel free to type into the chat if you're listening even in the replay. Always appreciate people just typing into the chat where they're listening at. For the people that go back and listen to the episodes and want to know where people listening at around the world. To the always appreciate the international listeners, national listeners. So always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the Vault, episode 340. Trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing. So we get a bunch of people that reached out via consultations for years, and people ask, well, trust, help. They gotta trust, they need help. I don't know what I'm doing. Appreciate Callie for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Callie for tuning in live, listening to replay. Somebody says, I don't know what I'm doing. So at the Vault, we have Trustee Training. Really happy that the trustees are going to be at the next workshop. We got a bunch of people coming to the next workshop. Definitely excited about everybody being at the next workshop. It's definitely for the trustees. We have people that we've reached out to that necessarily aren't in trust, but they're literally going to be at the workshop. So the seating is limited. We've almost maxed out the room at this point. Really happy about that. We usually end up filling all the rooms up because there's many people that want to be at the trustee training workshops. The environment that we provide is first class for our trustees in the private sector. So this is what people say. They say, trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing, so I need to go to a private workshop. I need to be at the workshop. I need to be around people that are in trust. But once again, we do have limited seating for individuals that or people that are not in trust. Appreciate Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Trust, help. I gotta trust and I don't know what to do. I gotta trust, I don't know what I'm doing. So I need the trustee training. I went in, I tried to do these things, working with other people, and it didn't work out. So trust, I need some help. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? The guru over the internet sold me a document. The guru over the internet, they promised me they were going to give me everything they knew. Trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing. First thing you do is get trustee training. Above all else, how many people have been sold documents from people, lawyers, people on the internet? How many people have bought these things and they say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing in trusteeship. That's right. Because a person doesn't know what they're doing. The trainings help provide and facilitate a training into the thought process of trusteeship. People say, well, does it have to be that simple? Does it have to be trusteeship? Ladies and gentlemen, what are you in? What are you doing? Why weren't you taught the trusteeship if you weren't? Because that costs more. That's where the money's at. It's in the management. And if an individual or people can't manage, they have to hand that responsibility over to someone else. Because trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why they hand it over to. Who are you going to hand it over to? A bank? Who are you going to hand it over to? A lawyer? Who are you going to hand it over to? A third party? Some people say, well, is the third party bad? If you don't know what you're doing. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. This is what we hear over and over and over and over and over and over. And it just keeps going. Remember, it started from the beginning and now we're here. Started from the beginning and now we're here. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. So this encourages an individual to get the training. Well, where is the cost going to cost the most? In the training. People get sold documents all the time. Some people come to the vault, oh, I have my own private document. That's what they say. And then we ask them questions, and then they really admit, trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. We know you don't. That's why we in the training business. Not in the everybody wants to be the document guy, the document woman. That's what they want to be. It's the training. Oh, well, what are you trying to really put together here? Trust Christian in the vault? Where do you live? Why would you need the workshop if we're all private? Right. Trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. They say they wanted to be in the room together because they don't know enough people in the environment. Many trustees end up finding a network, which is fair. You know, they find networks and they even utilize the network itself. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we've established this point in this episode. So let's move on to what happens when you don't know. You got to get educated. There's no way around it. You find out how much it costs, you move forward and get educated. But what happened to a dirt cheap education? How much is the private education supposed to cost, Trust Christian? How much is it really supposed to cost? Ladies and gentlemen, did you go to the attorney or the people that created these help people from the beginning and it didn't work? How much did they cost you? It should be at least double. Why? Because they didn't even train you in it. They did give it to you, but they didn't train you. So at least double. At least. But what happens when you come into the private sector? Because people say, "Oh, we're looking to be private. We're going private." Somebody contacted the vault, and this is what it is. It's, oh, we have a private ecclesiastical trust. Oh, really? How is it private? Oh, well, it uses the private, 501c3 copywritten book. Did we forget about that? See, we're in contract. We're not in the emotions. You wrote it in the contract that it deals with biblical copyright. Did we forget that it's copywritten? There's multiple versions of it. The way you say it is the way it's taken. So what jurisdiction does it fall into? But it was supposed to be what they call it. What do they call it? Unincorporated business. It's unincorporated. But the churches have the ability to give people a tax write-off, don't they? Right. Because it's exemption. It's not just about nonprofit. It's not about just giving money away. I don't know what I'm doing. We're fine with that at the vault. We're here to train. We're here to build. That's what we're doing. The workshops help people get in the same room, learn from seniors, connect with seniors, and move forward from that perspective. Always has, always will. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't reach out to these other people. If you are in a sector that you're unaware of, it's important to pay for the knowledge because we're in the age of information. But not only are people paying for information, they're not being trained in information. They're given the information as if it was public school. It says private, not public. Public school is where you go and you have to recall some information. It's called a test. Well, here we go. The secret comes now. Trust Christian and the vault, we ask the mentors, well, give us a test for trusteeship that we can give to the trustees. Give us a test that we can write down questions. Yeah, right. It's as much as good as the document you have. Oh, well, Trust Christian and the vault, there is no test. The test is living it. I don't know what I'm doing. So am I going to pass this test or fail this test? It looks like you're going to pass this test because you only have one option. Or you'll be like 80% of the population that doesn't make it. So we're talking to the 20. The vault talks to the 20. We're talking to the entrepreneurs, trustees, investors, trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody sold us a doc. We don't know what we're doing. We've had these consultations. Come in, come in, come in, come in. That's all they do is they come in. Oh yeah, this guy, it could be a woman. We won't discriminate. Oh, this individual, hey, they gave us this, and we're gonna send it to you through the internet. We're gonna send it to you through the internet. We're not gonna make you sign a non-disclosure agreement because I don't know what I'm doing. We wanted to go private, but we didn't invest in the education. We got the docs though, right? That's what you got. That's what many got. They gotta trust and help. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I supposed to do here? What is a distribution? What is a trust minute? How long is a trust minute supposed to be, Trust Christian? These are the questions we get in Trustee Training. How long is a minute supposed to be? Well, how does a minute look? Where can we go to find additional sample minutes? Why do we need to know about successor trustees? Do we need a will if we're in trust? Help. I don't know what I'm doing. It's that simple. Do we still need a will if we're in trust? That's the questions we get at the vault. Because trust, help, I don't know what I'm doing. Appreciate Carrollton, Ohio, once again for tuning in live, listening to replay. Got quite a few people tuning in live, listening to replay from Carrollton, Ohio. Yeah, trust, help, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, what were you attempting to do? We were looking to be private. We heard the podcast. So we're looking to go private. We're looking to get educated. We got to humble ourselves now. We're going to get educated because we didn't really hear about the education component. We feel like we're at a loss. What does the Institute provide? What does the Vault provide? Well, we do have workshops, so you can't really say that it's just like some guy on the internet ripping you off. It's not just some lady sitting on the internet ripping you off. You know, you're going to the workshop and you make money off it. Hold on. People came to the trustee training workshops and made money off it. Appreciate Middleton, New York for tuning in live. Middletown, New York for tuning in live. Listen replay. Always appreciate Middletown, New York. Oh, we got the workshops. We could shake hands. It's the private. I knew this wasn't fake. Exactly. Wow, you got people that are licensed professionals in this environment. You got people with 30 years of experience, 50 years of experience. You got law enforcement in the room. Oh no, we got those in the room. We have law enforcement in the room. Oh, and they have businesses. Right? But trust, help, I don't know what I'm doing. You got all of these other people involved. But what do? You get educated. You get trained. You say, well, what is the typical trustee coming through? Are they accredited and they don't know it, or they accredited and they do know it? That's who we're talking to here. Accredited or unaccredited? People say, well, I made over $250,000 last year. You know how many people we know that made over $300,000 a year and they still don't know about trust, help? I don't know what I'm doing. You didn't know athletes make money and don't know what they're doing? As far as the money, manager giving it to managers. Remember, they third partied it out. They third partied it out to a lawyer. They third partied it out. They don't know what they're doing with the money. So what's more important? Is it the money? Is it the trust? I mean, guess what? It's the training. The training will always be what's needed because it's demonstratable. You got to get something that's accurate. It's the law. You got to obey the law. You don't need to obey nobody but the law. The law. It's been written. We could read it. We all could read it together. It's common sense. But oh no, no. People want to look at it and say, oh, I don't know if it's a real thing. It's the real thing. Everybody that's in this space deals with those laws. Okay, so we're going to say that it begins with the what? The law. This isn't legal advice. This doesn't need, it's not financial advice. It doesn't need to be that. What it is trustee conversations we have with trustees, people calling in all the time with a consultation, telling us how they don't know what they're doing. You know, family members calling together. That's what this outlet is for. It's for the ones that are quote unquote in it to win it and not to lose. So they got to know the information. They're willing to go and do what's called arm's length distance dealing. They're willing to do that. They're willing to invest in themselves. Not in the vault. You think you help in the vault by getting a consultation? We're already talking about it for free. Oh, trust Christian in the vault. I don't know what I'm doing. So what's the most important thing? Is it the contract? Is it the network? Is it the education? It's the ability to see that it's being demonstrated by other people. That's the part that you gotta grasp. That's the part. Just because you don't know something doesn't exist doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. But oh no, no, I can't believe there's a private sector trust Christian. I can't believe you do private trust workshops trust Christian in the vault. You can't believe it? You don't need to believe it. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. This is the vault. Trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. Many people call, they say that. This isn't nothing new. This started since we started the channel. I don't know what I'm doing. Why would they know? They're first generation. Looking to escape the clutches of generational poverty. Looking to make sure that they're moving in trust. Why? It's been that way since the 1500s when the English came and settled in America. You can do research and see that. If the law is English common law, then it encourages an individual to know that the English common law is still here because they still have it in Europe, in what's considered the UK. It's the law system. A law system. So we know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. People say, I don't know if we can stand on anything. What can we stand on, trust Christian in the vault? What can we stand on? The law. You got to be able to stand on the law. And it's not just even your interpretation. Why is it they say get 2 or 3 medical opinions, get 2 or 3 legal opinions? Because it's encouraged so you can know who's the slicksters and the shysters. The mentor said that from the beginning. You got to get people to come with their lawyers, with two or three lawyers. But what happens when your lawyer and your current team doesn't know something exists? Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you don't know something doesn't exist doesn't mean it doesn't. Well, trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. We know. We've been serving for years now. The reputation is right there. The work is right there. The previous episodes. We're coming down to the wire for a workshop on the 25th, 9 to 5, in and out. Trustees are back on the road. They're living the quote unquote busy life, productive life. You're not, the trustees understand the importance of what quote unquote Margaret Mead's quote is. We'll go ahead and quote Margaret Mead's quote because she has this famous quote. So she says, never believe that a few erring people that can't change the world, for indeed, that's who has. That's who has. Never believe that a few erring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always business. It's never personal. Trustees ask questions all the time. Is it business? Is it personal? It's business, not personal. We got trustees walking out here. Ladies and gentlemen, we know we're that outlet. We know that we're that organization. We know we provide. Trustees have been coming for years. People say, how come it's not a dog and pony show? How come you're not showing us anything? Because we're sticking to what the mentors would call the G code. It's private, not public. Why would we be showing faces? This is not Spacebook. This is trustee training. The people contact the vault and say, well, I want to be private, not stay in the public. Live their lives through false identities. Oh, uppercase, lowercase. The word makes a difference. What are you talking about? It's all business. Somebody typed into the chat, it's good to be around like-minded people who have above average intelligence. It's a separation factor. Yes, it is. It always will be. So many people say, what about like-minded? Okay, well, all of you all are listening. So that means you're going to be there, right? Right. And we always had a packed out room. They ain't seen nothing but that. Trustees haven't seen nothing but packed out rooms. Every room we're in is packed out. We had children in pre-panned the whole situation. Children. Young ones. What they say, a trustee can be an infant. We had infants in the room. Trustees. That's how deep it goes. And when the show gets back on the road multiple times a year again, we'll see. Trustees appreciate the help because it's training. Well, is that all you're going to talk about is the training? What else is there to talk about? The document that you were sold that you don't know how to manage? I don't know what I'm doing? What are we going to talk about? How can someone consult you or work with you if you have a document that's supposed to be private? Are you going to make that person that you're trying to consult or deal with sign a non-disclosure agreement? Do you know about express contracts? Do you know about implied contracts? Being able to get verbal agreements? Good faith conversations? Oh, these things weren't taught to us in public school. No, they weren't. So when we talk about these conversations are had on an international level. When we talk about international individuals looking to travel, looking to do business in different jurisdictions, and so these questions and these matters that we're talking about are dealing with an international affair. It is the proper way. The proper way is to trust help. I don't know what I'm doing was trust Christian. Own nothing, control everything. That's what it is. How do you think you can operate in these different jurisdictions? Why do you think it's the most efficient? You got to talk to people that are in those jurisdictions. Why is it that the Cayman Islands still to this day has the most registered yachts, but they tell everybody in the states and most of the time around the world, hey, the Caymans, that's a red flag. That's a red flag territory. But then people have the most registered yachts there. Super yachts, mega yachts. How does this look? Well, it looks like this. We're coming up on the fourth quarter of 2021. This is the Vol episode 340. Trust help, I don't know what I'm doing. If you're in that position, the Vault has been here serving with the workshops and trustee training. If you don't know what you're doing, the law library can be one of your best friends. But so many people are not excited about the law library, how much time they have to put in. If not, getting a Black's Law dictionary, being able to handle these conversations, quote unquote legal jargon, BLACKS, a Black's Law dictionary. So many people say, oh, I got so much going on. Do you know the language of business? Because the language of business is contract. Contract is the law. Contract makes the law. So it's the words you got to read. You got to know the words in order to read the contracts properly. Because the words that we're reading in contracts weren't what we taught in school, in the public school. Was it? Were you even taught law in your public school? Oh, you were given Latin, weren't you? Right. That's an advantage. Why? Because when you read the law, and guess what? It's the old versions of law were written in Latin. The language English comes from a derivative of it. So those Latin classes will allow you to understand how they were talking to each other in Roman days. And when they're applying that canon law to your back, you know how to use it. Oh, this is draconian. Really? You can read that in the Black's Law Dictionary. Oh, what's the other line they like using? Uh, oh, martial. They like that martial word. It's not a martial plan. It was a martial, the law. Right. If you don't like it, leave. There are places that enjoy you just as much as you enjoy it. And so many people get confined because they feel they're stuck in the system. Guess what? Remember at the beginning of that trust contract called the United States Constitution? It says, we the people. Remember that. It's we the people. There is no lordship. The law comes from the people. But oh no, no. Do people really know that? The law comes from the people. We've already talked about this. When trustees go through the training, they say, well, we know this case, we know this case. Well, if the people make the law, that might be jury made law. What about the Supreme Court law? Those are judges. They're talking about it too. That's the law. The Supreme Court cases, right? With the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court. Did you read the Supreme Court cases? Oh, wow. I guess I didn't need Trust Christian then. I didn't need the vault then. I didn't need the gurus. I needed the cases. What do you think they're reading in law school? cases, to know how to defend you, to know how to defend the trust as a lawyer, a business litigator. Hmm. Well, trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, the workshop's coming up on the 25th. We're going to talk about it because the trustees want us to talk about it. Because the trustees know the Trust Christian and Vault had to promote. So we can talk about them being able to connect with other trustees. What happens when you don't want it enough? You don't get it. Trust, help. I don't know what I'm doing because you don't want it. It's at the workshop. It's in the training. Are you diligent? Or do you just want to do what the other internet people are talking about? Just be in trust. That's what they say, right? Hmm. Everybody's got everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, as Mike Tyson would say. What happened? Did you need help? Well, yes, I need help. Well, okay. Let's look at this. When you're talking about trusteeship, you gotta definitely get around good legal competence. You gotta get around a good lawyer. Oh man, everybody that I try to talk to about this information, they didn't really want to hear it. So I feel like I'm all alone. Did we just talk to those people? Oh, I feel like I'm all alone in this information. Everybody I'm around don't want to hear it. Oh, let's go here. We're about to hurt some feelings real quick. My husband doesn't want to know it. Hold on. Your husband doesn't want to know it. Trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. My husband doesn't want to know. Oh, trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. My wife doesn't want to know it. We have children, but my wife, she's not active in trustee training. So I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. Her family doesn't come from money. His family doesn't come from money. Okay. It doesn't come from money. They don't come from trusteeship. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing now. Well, sounds like you have to invest in your private education. That may come with some cost. Why? Because it's private. It's not public. This is not the public sales arena. This is not something that people in the private need you. People in the private don't need you. If you're in the public, the private doesn't need you. If you're in the public, the private looks at you as a worker. That's what the private looks at you as. The private looks at you as somebody that can work for one of their companies that they know how to establish leverage on. Period. If you're in the public, you're not looked at as helpful as an asset to someone that's in the private. Why? Because people in the private focus on assets. People in the public focus on liabilities and debt. That's what happens in the public. Most people don't know how to efficiently use public debt. They don't know how to use uh, uh, those things. They don't know how to make debt an asset in the public. And so, in turn, people in the private, it's inconsequential to even try to talk to someone to help them out. It's pointless. The only thing they want to do is either you work for them or they're buying you out. That's it. Well, some people say, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the right questions to ask. Well, this is where we talk to this to trustees for weeks now. You got to get your ego out the way. Oh, what do you mean by that? What do you mean I have an ego? You got the ego. What do you mean the ego? The ego means that you have to humble yourself ask what's called the stupid question. It's not a stupid question if you're asking it for the first time and you don't know the answer. You're coming in a humble spirit. That's why some trustees end up staying around so long. It's because they really have asked a lot of questions in a manner in which they're looking to know, and they're not arrogant and prideful to say that they don't know. You have to be willing to say that you don't know something. Just because you don't know something don't exist doesn't mean you don't know that it could be a possibility that it exists. And if you have a inkling that it could be a possibility, then it's important to ask. But then we'll get trustees that, you got to stick to what you've learned and you've been trained in. I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not training. I'm not practicing. I didn't practice enough role playing with you, Trust Christian, on the conference call this week. I missed out on my consultation because I was working a job. Or I had all these meetings. Busy, busy. That's what they say. And guess what? How you gonna get better at something if you're not practicing? How you gonna see in the dark if you're not practicing your art? You gotta practice your art so you can see in the dark. So many people are quote unquote afraid of the dark, the unknown. I didn't know what I was getting. And now we've been given something and we don't know what to do. Okay. It's called get trained in it. It's that simple. You can go to find people. We've had trustees go through and go to law school. We got lawyers that have come through to get trained, continue in education. Trust Christian in the vault. We've been doing it. We've been training. You got to keep training. It's a never ending process. Oh, Trust Christian, look, I don't know how much this going to cost me. How much is this going to cost me? And we had a trustee come on the line the past episode and tell you it was more than $40,000 in 1 year. And that was just an education. Oh no, where am I going to get that? I barely make that. Well, if you barely make that, why do people that feel like they're at the bottom? You're not at the bottom. That's mental. You got to stop thinking broke. So many people come with this broke mentality and they think they're going to be wealthy. You think you're going to be in a generational wealth too. When you get into the wealth environment, you have to change your speech. This isn't poverty. We're not talking poor. We're not talking broke. Oh man, Trust Christian, my life is shitty. Right. But you got 1% information. You know how to change lives, impact lives. You see the system that you feel you may or may not want to escape. You actually, for the first time in your life, or maybe at one point in your life, you can stand and see the system that's running in front of your eyes, that's eating generations of families up and spewing them out like they never made a dime, like they didn't build things with their hands. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they just had a job and they went in somebody else's factory and worked. Maybe they went on someone else's job, right? They still built something for someone else. Trust Christian in the vault. I just need to learn it then. How fast is it going to take for me to learn this? We just told you. It's training. I'm mad at the teacher. I don't like the way he talked to me. He don't talk to me nice. He's over here telling me the things that is hard. It ain't easy. It's not easy. Who said it was easy? It's the private. Who said it was easy? Did you listen to the easy episode? Where's the easy episode? Trust Christian in the vault. It's easy. Trust Christian. It's easy. Right. That's easy. It ain't hard. Living in poverty's hard. Living to where you wake up and you cannot say that you're in control of your time. Something that was given to you by the Creator might be not a problem for you. And that's why those individuals deserve that position in life. One of the mentors said it just like this. Trust Christian of all, you could do anything you want if you're not time poor. Right. Some people are probably time rich and don't even know it. But they usually do when they're time rich. People want all this money. Don't even understand how important it is to be thinking. Just to think alone is an invaluable thing. To be able to meditate is an invaluable thing. So many people say, I got away from my meditation. I don't meditate. How is it that the world can take you away from silence with your creator consciously? Silence in the world. How can the world take that away from you? Maybe people have gone insane. Have people gone insane? Type into the chat. Have people gone insane? Are they not in control of their mind? Because if you are, you're going to make it a point to heed the warning. Oh, well, I didn't like the way the teacher said it, so I quit school. Okay. But my best friend's still in the training. I still associate with people that went through the training. The best of them, not the ones that got it and scurried along. Not the ones that got it and scurried along. You hear that? They scurried. Oh, where did they go, Trust Christian? They went out and they thought they were going to be private by themselves. They thought they were going to work as a community on an island. Did you hear that? They thought they were going to work with a communal entity on their own as a lone solo trustee, as a lone solo out there being a trustee because no one around them wanted to learn it. That's why the trust workshops are so critical. We do it for the trustees. The trustees want to connect. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you're doing? Just know it's going to cost. There's a sacrifice that's going to have to come. We see so many trustees look at the 1% information as if it's the eight as if it's the 90%. Something that they can just say, well, you know what? I can go to another one of those. Guess what? I can get that information when I feel like it. Okay. We're happy to hear that. We're happy to hear that. There is needs for people that we address at the vault. Breaking a generational curse of not being properly in the right position is a disadvantage. Why? Because you're informed or you're uninformed of that. Just because you didn't know something doesn't exist doesn't mean it don't exist. So people say, well, I didn't know about that. What do you mean? We sit in front of millionaires all the time that say that. It doesn't matter if you're making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1,000,000 a year, millions of dollars a year. Appreciate Memphis, Tennessee for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate Memphis, Tennessee for tuning in live, listen, and replay. Whoa, Trust Christian. Whoa. The people that I need to meet, how do I find them? You go to the workshop. That's what you're looking for, right? The people you need. Because you don't know what you're doing, right? How do you advance it if you don't invest in your education? That's it. How do you advance? You have to learn. You have to be trained. You have to be educated. There's many ways of getting this education. Traditionally, it's not under the public sector. Sure, you can see some things in the public sector, but in the private, we have a specific training that we're going over. People talk about, so many different things. You have to really evaluate it from both perspectives, when it's public and private, not just from a public perspective, because so many people have been trained in the public. So when we talk to people that have been trained in the public, when we're talking about lawyers, accountants, it's very important to just talk to them from a private perspective, which they're very familiar with as well. It doesn't have to be an off-record conversation. It's just a conversation that talks about contract more than anything else. Talks about be it what position you are in and what position you're not in, things of that nature. And we had someone reach out to the vault this past week, and they were stating that they didn't really know how to go in and do some things with institutions and things like that, and that just because that was because they weren't trained, and the individual that sold them the bag of goods, that you know they weren't the grantor because their name was in all caps. This is the stupidity that we heard. This is what's being sold out there. People are being sold essentially what's called a living trust, public, and they want to state why they think it's private. Oh, because it's the all caps name. What do you mean? It's the all caps name. Who owns that name? Well, this is how we bust down the conversation real quick. We're gonna bust that down, we're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna give it back to them and let it marinate. So here how that conversation goes. Well, the grantor was the all caps name, and then, I'm the trustee. Yeah, and that's why the institution kicked you out. Because the grantor on the public side looks like you. No one knows the difference. Why? Because it's all business, it's not personal. So it's living. It's a living trust. Why? Because you're the grantor. But that's not me. That's the all caps name. That's the government name. Isn't that what they say in the street? The government name? The government name. Oh, the government name. The government owns you. How is it the government name if they hold on? Do you know that's called indenture servitude? So does the government really own that name? No, no, no. They just created this number and it's attached to it. Exactly. That's what we're talking about now. Because when you went in the bank, that's what the bank's looking at too. They want to know is the grantor a U.S. person or not. They want to know that. These institutions want to know that. But the private people that they sold this to me, they told me, that that's not me. Now we know what cognitive dissonance is, and that's bad because you just know that that's not accurate. What happened? You told them it wasn't you, right? Yeah, I told them it wasn't me, and they kicked you out because you sounded ignorant, like you didn't know what you were doing, and they already know you sound like you're doing something wrong. Why? Because you don't know what a living trust is, so they kicked you out. You don't even know the type of entity you're in. They want to deal with you. How many people contact you and say, "Oh, I got this number. I got a 2-digit number," and guess what? But I don't have any substance. I don't have any docs. I don't have any training. I don't have anything. I just got a number. I'm gonna get this number to own an all caps name. These are the things we hear in the consultations. These might be questions you might have. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been trying to go private for years now, and I'm finally just ready to pony up and pay the Pied Piper. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. What do you think the Vault and Trust Christian are doing? And the Vault and the trustees, we're all traveling to international jurisdictions, domestic jurisdictions. That's why we're having a workshop. We're setting the precedent. Once you enter into the private, you go to private high net worth investor conferences. That's what you do. I don't know what I'm doing. We're training you. You go to the conferences to be around what? People in trust, deal with people in trust. But this is too hard to explain to people that are in the public because they think from the public perspective. They're negotiating the price of being wealthy. They're negotiating the price of going private. Hold on. What is the price, Trust Christian? In the vault? The education. The training. Because we get people contacting the vault all the time. We got a doc. We got a doc. We got a doc. We got this document. We don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Our family doesn't know what to do. We don't know how to operate. Somebody just gave us something and we don't know what to do. Really? You ain't gonna go get your money back now you know we do the training? You gonna go get your money back? Are you gonna go get your money back? Oh man, I can't go get my money back. They don't even think twice. So it should be double. Education has a price. Trustee training. So, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because are you sacrificing the training or are you sacrificing the network and the knowledge? You think the room is packed with nobodies? That's interesting. It's called people investing in their private education. That's all it comes down to. They understand the importance of what's called people in trust, deal with people in trust, community, family. They understand the power of network. Is someone that advanced above you that people won't invest in their education? Who knows? The game goes to the strong, not the weak. Trust help. I don't know what I'm doing. There's a learning curve. We share this with our trustees. There's a learning curve. But the speed of the group is the speed of the leader. You're the trustee of your family estate. How much are you learning on a daily basis? Oh, Trust Christian and the Vault and trustees, we taking breaks. Taking breaks, huh? Okay. It's called investing in your private education. Now, if you're not going to do that like you did 12 years of public school, you're doomed for failure. Best believe it. We know it without a shadow of a doubt. We know it without a shadow of a doubt. Why? Because this game only goes to the strong. The ones that are adept in the information. Not in theory, but in practice. By being around the greats. By taking risk, calculated risk. You learn risk management. You learn leadership. You learn communications. It's just continuing education if you have it already. We share with you how to build those management systems in. You got to build a management system. How can you build a management system from one generation to the next if you didn't have one from the previous generation? Exactly. Appreciate all the trustees for tuning in live, listen, replay. Appreciate everybody that's going to the workshop. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Always appreciate everybody reaching out, Christian at trustchristian.com. People coming to the workshop. It's always going to be the best. We always doing the best to be the best. We definitely feel like this is going to be a great workshop for the trustees and as well non-trustees because we're putting up the heavy hitters at the front. Years in trusteeship. And as well talking about specific areas of quote unquote expertise and execution. Really happy about that, and as well just the people that are going to be there. We already know the head count, and it's always sectioned off for private. It's not a whole bunch of a whole bunch of people that are going to be there, but we always make it a point to have the right people there, and that's the most important thing because the trustees really get to see that. Um, so we're definitely going to make it a point to do our best to bring forth the best lineup we possibly can. Some of you all that are frequent listeners of the Vault may have heard Carrie, may have heard Cornell the Trader, Carrie P and Cornell the Trader. Definitely gonna have them there. We're gonna have a senior mentor there in trusteeship and family banking, international trustee, and just has a great network, great relationships, a great educator, great mind in his space. Will be forever indebted to this trustee, senior mentor, just because of the relationships that have been established because of this mentor. So we're happy to have mentors in the room as usual. It's always a blessing, and as well, we do have a lot of people have talked about REITs and real estate investment trust. So having those type of relationships in the room are going to be really really important. Really excited about it. Uh, with this workshop because so many people are just always thinking that real estate is the key to wealth, and we're not going to deny that a lot of wealth is held in real estate. We just think that there's more strategic ways to go about doing it at the vault, but nevertheless so many people are already in that realm already that a lot of trustees are already in real estate, and then they just need the spigot to open up. They need to be focused on more OPM, heavily OPM based. Really happy about that. I definitely know that they want to get a bunch of OPM as well, which is really, really important. So we're talking about those things, and just traditional trusteeship, foundationship, stewardship. Those things are going to be ever important when we're talking about it. Uh, in the sense of what we're talking about, trusteeship, because it's just critical, ladies and gentlemen. So many people they say I don't know what I'm doing. Well, this is your opportunity to not only just get the information, as people say, oh, I'm just getting the information, but what happened? Did you get the network? Did you get the relationships? So many people think they can subvert it. They think they can cut corners because it's a poverty mentality. It's a crabs in the barrel mentality. You know who you are. You're a crab in the barrel. You're a crab with little claws trying to pull somebody else down because you had to work your way to the top. Right? That's how we saw it. But whether y'all know it or not, crabs actually crawl on each other's back to get out of the barrel. Have you ever even had live crabs in the actual crate? You have crabs in a live crate, and if it's open, they'll get out because they're going to crawl on each other's back and get out to the top. That's the opposite of people pulling somebody down. Well, it's competitive out here, Trust Christian in the Vault. Right, and that's why we see so many getting run over because they didn't know that it's not about the information, it's about the relationships. You need the relationships in the private sector. You don't need the money, you need the relationships. You can see whether you knew that asset managers at least are managing 35 and under are managing 80% of the world's wealth. Asset managers, because they're trained. Whether they're doing it through algos, they're still around. They're working for private companies as well. 35 and under. They have the energy, they're working. And what you could say is some people are still doing algos on the public side. So they're just sitting there managing algos. They probably cut back their workforce, but they're still young. And they have them just sitting there monitoring a computer, monitoring algos all day. Well, here we are, coming up on another workshop. Trustee Training with the Vault 2021. Looking forward to connecting with you all. So many people want to be able to shake that hand and want to be able to meet senior trustees, which is really exciting. Coronado Trader's been with us for a long time. Really thankful for him doing the workshops with us. Senior trading mentor. So funny to call him that. Senior trading trustee mentor. It's so beautiful to have him be able to work with trustees because so many trustees have made money this year from the vault. They say, oh, what do they say? It's not financial advice, but we need to make money. But hold on. Did you get the information and run off? That wasn't building community. That wasn't building trust. So you think that you're just going to come to get some information and keep moving? Have fun. Many come and go. Trusteeship is about the relationships, remember? Not about the information, not about the money. The training is available to people. But we've weighed many hearts on a scale for years. The trustees that have learned to know what to do, they invested in the relationships. The senior mentoring relationships. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Workshops in Orlando coming up on the 25th of September. Feel free to get the location from us via email, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. We have Trustee Training Workshop coming up for trustees. We have the location. We have some things going on for the trustees. It's going to be a great one. Definitely look forward to hearing from all the trustees there, and look forward to having everybody that's non-trustees come through as well. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Peace. Enjoy.